I'm just preparing to travel to Brisbane to the doctor's appointment to surgeon Nick Lutton, a colorectal surgeon, to discuss my peritonectomy. I'm taking somebody with me this time. Last time I went to this particular surgeon, I didn't take anyone with me, and I don't think I took in quite as much information as I could have. So my cancer journey started at Easter in 2018, when I had a bowel obstruction and was diagnosed with an ovarian mass, which turned out to be a mucinous cyst, a mucinous cyst, 20 centimetres by 12 initially, and then 20 by 14 by the time the last scan happened, and I was operated on at Royal Brisbane Women's Hospital in Brisbane, the wonderful gynecology team there. During that surgery, they took out my appendix. I had a small bowel resection, had the hysterectomy, ovarian cystectomy and nephrectomy, and those specimens were sent away, and the pathologist had diagnosed an appendiceal neoplasm, which basically means I had appendiceal cancer, and that was stage 4 because it had moved from the original port, the appendix, and had moved to the ovaries and had now moved to the peritoneum. And that's what this visit to the hospital today is about. So I go and I spend some time discussing it with Nick Lutton, and I have done a little bit of reading on the internet, and the more I read, the more disturbed and distressed I get. So I have decided to not do any reading or much reading at all. So today I went to Brisbane to the Princess Alexandra Hospital and had a conversation with colorectal surgeon Nick Lutton about my Pseudomyxoma Peritonei, my gelatinous mass cancer that's in my abdomen, on my liver, stomach and bowel. And we had a conversation about what my treatment options were, and we even asked the question about what happens if I don't do any treatment at all. And the response to that is it just slowly grows and squashes the internal organs, and basically you die of malnutrition. Options are great. So the surgery is about 10 hours on the table, and it involves a much larger incision than the previous incision that I had, and high pack, which is hot intraperitoneal chemotherapy treatment for about an hour and a half, and that penetrates about 3 millimeters around the organs to assist with killing any cancer cells. There is no cure for Pseudomyxoma Peritonei, PMP. Is only continual treatment options. We asked about survival rates. Survival rates are really quite good, really quite great. About 45 to 70% chance, 5 years survival, and about 50 to 60% survival rate for 10 years. So we asked about how long I was going to be hot for, and hot for about a month, but that will be probably the month in hospital. So surgery is 10 hours on the table, a couple of days in ICU, ventilated, extubated and single and hot for a couple of weeks, and then into general population in a ward for another week or so. So anywhere between 14 and 28 days in hospital. 6 to 12 month long-term recovery rate. I asked, was it a late diagnosis? And he deems it's quite reasonable to be diagnosed at 50, in your 50s. I'm 53, so that gives me a 60% survival rate to 63 years of age. Bonus, I've got an expiry date. But anything could kill you in reality. You can have a car accident, or your plane could fall out of the sky, or, you know, whatever. The rates for complications is about 40%. Standard die, 3% on the table. 40% for other complications such as bleeding, infection, DVT, all the standard lung dysfunction, organ failures, just all the standard stuff. 40% complication rate, wound dehiscence, all that type of thing. So, rare, 1 in a million, generated from the appendix, neoplasm, carcinoma. Yeah, it's going to be a bad year. Consent hasn't been signed yet, so aiming for December or January surgery dates. They only do 2 in a month in Brisbane. It's one of the thoughts that you have. So if you're going to be in hospital for a month or so, what kind of support I will need through that time, and what kind of support I'll need after that time. So I would anticipate I will prep, because that's what I am. I'm a prepper. You know, take soup and chewing gum and the stuff that I need when because I suffer from paralytic illness as well. The few times that I have had surgery, so that I know that that is going to be a standard complication that I'm going to potentially face. So I will take the soup and the chewing gum, because they will give me the peppermint water and the gastrographin to assist with gastric motility. So I'm just blessed to be surrounded by people who have offered me physical and psychological support over the last 6 months, and so I am really conscious that because this is going to be another 6 to 12 months, that I just don't want to burn people out with my journey. And one of the things that I consciously now do is make sure that if I do go out or I am seen in public, that I am high, I am up, I am not dragging people down into the abyss, the sleepless nights, the pain, the the gastric issues that I have, the obstructions, etc. I've managed most of the obstructions now by myself at home. I've only had to go to hospital that few times. So I'm learning to deal with that. I asked the question today about why my breathing is such an issue, and he didn't have an answer for that. So it could be related to just the bowel not functioning well and swelling and pushing on the diaphragm. We don't necessarily think that it's a cardiovascular issue, but it's something that I potentially am going to have to investigate. I do need to physically get fitter for the next surgery, so that's going to involve walking and swimming and cycling. So I will set myself those targets to be met by December or January, whenever the surgery is. So when I am in hospital, I do anticipate that I won't get any or many visitors, because one, it's such a distance for people to travel. The paid for parking for a PA is going to be an issue, and you know, there's nothing anybody can do. So your thoughts is going to be the thing that bolsters me. And if I have connection to Wi-Fi or internet and just communicate via messenger will be the greatest gift that anybody can give me through that period of hospitalisation, as well as a few people bringing me fresh underwear and recycling my pyjamas, my PG jams. We shall see what the logistics of that month is going to be, that 2 weeks to a month is going to be. But I am, as I say, just absolutely blessed to be surrounded with the amazing support that I've had up to this point. The downsizing and the prepping for a lifestyle where I don't have to drive, I can just walk to everything and just really proactively just focusing on getting well. So it's going to be an interesting year.